it's Jessie B, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite movies. I think this is definitely in my top 5 favorite Disney movies. I feel like it is for everyone though. Like, who doesn't like Lion King? If you don't, I think of you differently now. I'm just kidding. Like, obviously everyone has different opinions on stuff, but I feel like Lion King is definitely one of those loved Disney movies. I'm freaked out because the chair in my office is suddenly like lopsided, and it wasn't before. Like, the legs of the chair are suddenly going this way instead of straight down, and like 2 seconds ago it wasn't. So I think the ghost just sat on my chair and is breaking it. But we'll just ignore it, it's fine. Anyways though, I do know that my sister is like obsessed with this movie, so hopefully if she's watching this doesn't like ruin it for her, because I'd probably feel very bad about that, so sorry. But let's just get straight into it. We only have a few more days of Conspiracy Theory Week. Which video are we on? I think we're on number 5. So there's 2 more videos after this one, and yeah, I think you guys will love them. So let's get into these theories right now. The first one is that Mufasa controls the weather. And when I first saw this headline, I was like, what? No, that's crazy. But when I actually read about the reasoning behind it, it makes so much sense. Like, prepare yourselves to be shook. Your chair might actually shake, or whatever you're sitting on right now. And if you're standing, the floor might just crumble beneath you. So this conspiracy theory has to do with the drought in the movie. So we all know the sad thing that happens. Scar kills his brother Mufasa, who is the king of Pride Rock, and this event forces Simba to exile himself from Pride Rock, leaving Scar as the only heir to his brother's throne. Hence King King Star? Oh my gosh, let me refocus my brain. Earth to Jess. Hence King Scar ruling over Pride Rock. King Star. So a theory goes that Mufasa, upon his death, becomes like a demigod. So he's acquired supernatural powers that makes him control the clouds, you know, the weather, just like Storm from X-Men. And the scene where he appears before Simba is more than enough proof of Mufasa's supernatural powers. Just look at how he shifted those clouds to form an image of himself. So why does this matter, you ask? Well, while Simba was off with Timon and Pumbaa, we can see the destruction that's happening over at Pride Rock when Scar is in charge. There's a drought, everyone's unhappy, it's not really going well over there. And apparently this drought was not a coincidence, it was caused by Mufasa, because he's controlling the weather from heaven. It's almost like a way of getting back at his brother for killing him. So when Scar took over Pride Rock, Mufasa was like, no, it's not gonna be a happy ending for you, and then created the drought. He also wanted to cause serious friction between the lions and Scar. The Mufasa drought also forces Nala to search for food outside of Pride Rock, where she stumbles upon grown-up Simba, and then because of this, Simba goes and returns to Pride Rock. Because he wants to take back what is rightfully his. So they both begin to fight, and it's at this moment that we see Mufasa's drought plan pay off. The lions are fed up with their leader's total mishandling of the drought and revolt against Scar and fight alongside Simba. It's only after Simba feeds Scar to the hyenas that we finally see rain descend upon Pride Rock. And guess what? It's raining because Mufasa is finally happy to see his son ruling over Pride Rock. It's the end result that he wanted, so he has provided the rain and has made everything better. So I don't know about you, like, I do know it's slightly out there, but I feel like it's plausible. I feel like it's plausible. The next theory is that Nala wasn't really in love with Simba at first. So while it makes sense that Simba was all over Nala, why would she feel the same way about him? And that is because there is a deleted scene that was removed from the movie. How crazy is that? Apparently in this deleted scene, Scar wants Nala to be his queen. And Nala rejects this offer because who would want to be married to Scar? And then then she runs off into the jungle. So when Nala in the actual movie ran into the jungle and found Simba, she wasn't looking for food and she wasn't looking for help. She was actually running away from Scar. She was exiled, she needed protection, any protection. Thank goodness she found Simba. So she wasn't actually in love with him, she just needed someone to protect her. And that is why she also convinces Simba to return to Pride Rock, because if he goes there and defeats Scar, then she can return with her family and all would be good. And then she wouldn't be a queen to a horrible, unpopular dictator, but she'd be queen to the righteous king. So Nala didn't fall in love with Simba as a person, but Simba as a political character. So I know it's kind of crazy, and I don't really believe it because I personally think that Simba and Nala actually loved each other so much. Like, I want to sort of keep that in my mind. It's like the whole Ginny and Harry Potter theory. I want to believe that they actually loved each other. But giving this whole theory credibility is that there is a song out there that Scar sings. It's called The Madness of King Scar, and it's not sung in the movie, it's actually sung in the musical, I believe. But in this song, Scar sings, I'm just gonna look at my notes, Scar sings, "Oh Nala, you know I loathe violence. One way or another, you will be mine." So in the musical, they have this song where Scar is trying to get Nala to be his queen. So that would sort of make sense in the movie as to why she ran away and thankfully found Simba to protect her. I'm actually gonna try and find this song where Scar sings that. I feel like it'd be very interesting to see. Called The Madness of King Scar. Oh my gosh, so Lion King did a animated version as a tribute.
Nala, my, how you've grown.
I have to make a mind's she has to be my queen.
So missed it!
A host of little scars.
Little scars!
I'm a girl.
Yeah, smack him.
Nala.
I don't even know what to think about that. I can't believe they animated that song, but you got that just gives so much credibility to this theory. That's insane. Okay, anyways, let's move on. My mind is blown right now. It's literally sitting on the floor beside me. So the next theory is that Mufasa and Scar aren't actually brothers. So it's very likely that Scar and Mufasa do not have the same parents. The way lions operate in the wild is when the male lion gets old, another rogue lion comes and kills the head of the pride. So in other words, Scar was just a strange lion who sensed Mufasa was getting old, so he swooped in and killed him. Occasionally there are prides that do have two male lions in an interesting dynamic because they're not equals since they don't have the same parents. One lion will always kind of be off in the shadows. It says we were trying to use those animal truths to underpin the story, so we sort of figured that Scar and Mufasa couldn't really be from the same gene pool. And if you pay close attention to the movie, Scar actually says, the quote from him is, "I'm from the shallow end of the gene pool," which confirms that him and Mufasa aren't actually birth brothers. It's a very subtle part of the movie, but it kind of gives credibility to this theory. This next one's kind of crazy and I really don't want to believe it at all. It is that Zazu betrayed Mufasa. So in this theory, they propose that Zazu, who appears to be a loyal servant of Mufasa and a comedic relief, was actually a traitor who is guilty of conspiring with Scar to kill both Simba and Mufasa. According to fans, Zazu was sick of being humiliated by the powers that be, which ultimately influenced his decision to collude with Scar to take down Mufasa and in turn Simba's legacy. Considering Zazu's position and power proximity to the king Mufasa at the beginning of the story, you can almost kind of feel bad for the way he was treated in the movie. Like, he was very fed up with the lack of respect that he got from Simba, because if you watch the movie, Simba never listens to Zazu, like, at all. And not only does Mufasa allow this behavior from Simba towards Zazu, but he partakes in it by using Zazu as a prop in Simba's pouncing lessons when all Zazu was trying to do was inform him of the situation in the kingdom. And there's tons of quotes from the movie where Zazu's talking to Simba, kind of making it sound like he doesn't like him very much. Like, he says, "You're shaping up to be a pretty pathetic king with an attitude like that." He also says, "If this is where the monarch monarchy is headed, count me out of service, out of Africa, I wouldn't hang about. This child is getting wildly out of wing, kind of showing that he really does not want Simba to rule. And not only this, but Zazu is worried about his own future. Simba declares that when he's king, he will fire Zazu both directly and in his song. So the two really don't have a great relationship at all. And although this wasn't presented on screen, Scar could have told Zazu the plan to get rid of Simba during their antagonistic confrontation in Scar's lair. It wasn't until Zazu became fed up with Simba that he decided to act on it. So I like Zazu. I think he's like really cute, and I do feel bad for him a lot of the time, but I don't think he has it in him to help Scar kill Mufasa and to help Simba not become king. Like, I feel like he wouldn't do those things, but I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And then the last theory is that the Lion King is based on Hamlet, and I don't know about you guys, but when I was in high school, I did have to study Hamlet. It is by Shakespeare, and I think a lot of you guys are like in elementary school. Some of you guys are definitely in high school. It's kind of like split down the middle, but if you did study Hamlet, you might understand these references a bit more. If you didn't, this part might not make any sense to you. I apologize. So here are the similarities that they found between Hamlet and the Lion King. So the main characters are princes. Simba is the main character in Disney's The Lion King. He is the son of Mufasa, the king of the lions, which makes Simba prince. Hamlet, from Shakespeare's The Tragedy of Hamlet, is the son of the dead King Hamlet, which makes him a prince too. Both princes are only sons and have no siblings. Then we have both have shady uncles. In The Lion King, Simba has an evil uncle named Scar. Scar is jealous of his brother Mufasa and wants to be the king instead. Scar ultimately kills his brother to get what he wants, and in Hamlet, he also has an uncle, Claudius. At the beginning of the play, Claudius has already become king, possibly by killing his brother. The next one is that they're both sent into exile. Simba is convinced by Scar to flee after his father's murder and spends a long time growing up with Timon and Pumbaa in exile. Claudius also convinces Hamlet to leave and travel to England, where he survives an attack by pirates. Then we have they both battle their uncles and take revenge. So Simba fights with Scar, who ends up being killed by hyenas, and Hamlet kills his uncle with a sword and poisoned wine. And then lastly, we have the internal struggle. In The Lion King, Simba has to learn to step up and take his place as king instead of running from his past, and Hamlet has overcome his indecision. He ultimately chooses to kill his uncle, which is a struggle that takes place in his famous to be or not to be soliloquy. So that is your little English lesson for today. Sorry if you guys are like in the middle of reading Hamlet and I just like ruined the ending for you. My bad. My bad. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this Lion King conspiracy video. My mind was blown at the part where Scar was singing to Nala, because I just would never expect to actually see that animated like it was supposed to belong in the movie. Like, what the heck? But as usual, put in the comments down below which theories you kind of believe and which ones you think are totally crazy, which a lot of them are. And also let me know if any of you guys are currently reading Hamlet, or if you're supposed to in the near future. It is actually a really good play. I think you guys will enjoy it. And maybe while you're in class, you can like put up your hand and be like,
Miss Jessie V says this relates to the Lion King.
and see what your teacher says, and then tell them all these points, because you never know, might get you some extra marks. Anyways though, we have 2 more days of conspiracy theory videos. I hope you guys have been enjoying this week, and I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!